we won't let you leave this program without getting any results.
And I am shredded. I stay shredded because this is my lifestyle. I chose to
Yeah.
transform.
When you've made that commitment for yourself, whatever it is you believe in, you have now opened up the space for you to fill that void, for you to step into this better version of you within this 90-day framework.
What is happening, people? I'm here again with Coach Seamus. Seamus, how's it going, man?
Man, it is going well. JK, it's great to see you. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Now, I'm super excited to be here today. It's been a while since we connected and talked about some of the exciting things that are happening. We just chatted and caught up on life now. But listen, today we have a very exciting challenge coming up. The summer's around the corner, and everybody wants to look good. But this time it's going to be a little bit different because Coach Seamus himself has a very a personal incentive
Yeah.
to be in the best shape and as healthy as possible. Why is that, Seamus? What's happening?
Oh man. Well, first off, for the guys that are tuning in, thanks so much. And what I love about this is we have the 2025 Summer Shred happening. That's right. We've been doing it for what, 3 to 4 years now, right, JK? We've gotten such amazing goals for people. But now I'm even more locked in. I'm going to make sure you guys get your success because I have to lead from the front, the side, and the back. I got to do it all with you because I have to show up and look amazing for my wedding. I gotta,
Woo!
that's right. I gotta look good. And for you guys that know, the date is public now, but June 28th, 2025, my fiance and I are getting married out here in Los Angeles. So I gotta show up. I gotta look good, and I gotta ball out that day.
Yeah. So that's the incentive. Coach Seamus is getting married. If any of you guys follow him on the socials, he and his fiance are super active people. They are active. You know they're going to be looking. You know they're going to be looking good, right? So let's jump right into it and talk about this challenge. I'm as usual. We all lead from the front. He's going to be participating. I'm going to be participating. So you've worked with hundreds of high performers, man, in
Yeah.
fitness, in health, in longevity. Why did you decide to create this particular challenge?
Yeah, outside of me doing my own thing, I'm selfishly gonna get mine. But I know for our guys, they're struggling with their energy, struggling with their hormones, they're struggling with their physique, and that all has a synergy. So when the team and I thought about this challenge, we really wanted to make sure that guys can get all that from this, all the protocols, whether it be looking at their hormones from a lab kit, getting the right tailored supplementation, understanding what they truly need for exercise and nutrition to really get the goals that they want. Now, this is a challenge. Look, I like to tell people it's a challenge to jumpstart. It's a quick, approachable way to make sure that this becomes a sustainable part of your lifestyle. But the reason I really want to create it because as much as we know the science about longevity, health span, this is the stuff that I love, right, JK? The biohacking, the don't
Yeah.
dies of the world. Those are great, but it doesn't matter if you don't take action. And sometimes people get a little bit overwhelmed. And that's what I've learned about coaching our community is that sometimes there's so much overwhelm out there. What I wanted to do was really get the folks in and give them the best protocols, the foundations, and actually really have the support to do it. That's why I really wanted to create it for them.
The one thing I will say about that, just to add on to what Coach Seamus has said, is that for me, and at least noticing it in a lot of our clients, is the habits that it creates. I think a lot of guys wants to have this in their life established, installed in their life, but they never develop the habits. And one of the things the challenge has done for me over the past couple of years, it's just made me hyper aware of all the things I need to do for my body moving forward. So if you've ever struggled with that, this is for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of struggle, like what are some of the biggest reasons that you've seen? Because I know you work with a lot of high performers.
Yeah.
Biggest reasons that you've noticed guys struggle with stuff like we hear stuff of energy, they're not recovering enough. They're working so hard. Anyone who's been like, I'm working out so hard, but my body composition hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Like you see the before and after pictures on social media, and you're like, how did these people get so ripped? They went from being like skinny fat, like are they taking performance enhancing drugs? What are some of the biggest reasons that guys struggle with all these changes, man?
Yeah, yeah. I honestly think of it as like imagine analogy I like is imagine a guy on a bicycle without like any wheels. It's just up in the air and they're cycling, but they're getting nowhere fast, right? So it's just
Yeah.
propped up there and they're just cycling. And I think you could do all the hard work you want to do, quote unquote, thinking you're doing all this hard work. or you're staying in the same place. And I think when it comes to energy, their physique, all these before and afters, you really have to have the right tailored plan for you to make sure you're getting that. Because you could be working, but you're spinning yourself into an abyss because you're not getting all the results that you need. So we need to start from where you're at, right? We need to meet the patient or the client where they're at, right? Our brothers where they're at. And from there, be able to adjust day to day, week to week, and be able to give them everything they need for their energy, whether it be the nutrition, the exercise, the recovery protocols tailored specifically for them within the context of the community and the group. And you're going to have that support with the community and the group as well, because they're going to have insights and experiences. That's not theory. That's not knowledge. That's not from a textbook. They're actually going, hey, this is the stuff that worked for me. Let me give you some insights, try it out, and then boom. If you try it out, doesn't work, that's great because you have another thing to try out right after. And that's why I really think that's a difference maker between the folks that have all this knowledge, but actually get results in our program. They do, they try, they test out, and they move forward.
I love the fact that you mentioned the customized thing. So guys, for those of you out there who, let's say you've participated in a challenge before and you notice that there are some people who just seem to rise to the top, even though you're like, you see some people do 75 hard, for example.
Yeah.
And then some people at the end of it, they look like they've lost some weight. And some people look like they're absolutely shredded.
Yeah.
That's probably because that particular challenge was naturally customized to them for their metabolism, their diet, and so on. So if you want to look a certain way, you do need to work with professionals who will take everything into account. Your blood work, your diet, your metabolism, any issues you have, even your schedule. Do you have kids? Are you single? Do you do shift work? What is your sleep going to be like? And these are the things that are critical, and that's why you're frustrated and spinning wheels. Dude, it's so good. So how is let's ask guys the thing they're probably thinking right now. How is this Optimum U challenge different from all the other stuff out there? How is it different from any other, I will teach you to be shredded program?
I mean, that truly is the greatest thing that people always say, I'll teach you to be shredded. I think it's all these things are templated, and I think all these things are just cookie cutter programs. It goes back to that tailoring, but it starts with data. I'm a bit of a data nerd. I like all these things, but for the guys that are listening to this, we have our peak performance kit. We look at our labs. We take a look at everything that you're doing from the shift work, from your day to day, and you have the support in the community. I really would want to say, I think community and accountability and support is truly where this is a differentiator when it comes to it. There's coaches out there on Instagram that probably message you and you're like, are you doing your workouts? And they're yelling at you. Or they have like a Facebook community, but the coach never shows up. I've had those clients come into our group and have that, right? But I think what we do here with Elevated Recovery and Optimum U programs is we lead with compassion. We coach with compassion. We know where these brothers are coming from because these are the same frustrations and pains we've had, right? These are the same things that we've gone through. We know exactly what it takes to go from A to B to Z. And I think that's the difference: community, accountability, and support, because it comes from that compassion and community. But accountability, a lot of folks have a lot of fear around this. They're like, oh my gosh, you're going to check my homework. I might get an A+ or a D today. No, it's a moment of reset and support. And there shouldn't be any guilt, shame, anything in there. It's actually a moment to get support, have you walk hand in hand with a coach, a guide in the side, actually helping you every step of the way. And we won't let you, leave this program without getting any results, right?
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that, man. And to drive it home, people, I think a lot of people go through different programs, and whenever you're going through the program, and let's say somebody promises you something in 12 weeks, and by the third week you feel that they're a little bit checked out, you feel other people in the program are checked out, you start second guessing yourself, and usually about that time you're starting to cheat a little bit on your diet. That's where things start falling apart. And you try to really make it through till the end. But the truth is, in a 12-week challenge or an 8-week challenge, you slacked off about 3 weeks total. And that's because you have accountability that has a strong foundation built in compassion missing. You want to be able to show up and be honest about everything that's going on. You want to be able to feel engaged. And that's going to reduce the number of days that you're not actually doing the work that needs to be done. Anytime you're checked out mentally and your coach is not present for you, you're pretty much, that's the beginning of the end. So I would say, to put a period to that, when you're doing a program that is virtual, that is online, but you're doing something physical, look for accountability, look for compassion with the person you're working with, because those are the things that are going to keep you doing it day to day. I
Yeah.
appreciate that reminder,
Yeah.
Seamus.
100%.
So like all the supplementation, the nutrition, and like your fitness, right? How is all of this coming together to make lasting transformation? Because we're not here to do, guys. This isn't a temporary. This isn't a temporary shred. Okay, listen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn 41 in like 2 weeks, and I am shredded. I stay shredded because this is my lifestyle. I chose to
Yeah.
transform. How does all of this stuff come together to give lasting transformation that guys for the next decade, 20 years can still maintain?
Yeah. When people think of lasting transformation, what do we think about, JK? We think about performance and we think about peak
True.
performance and not about performance once, right? If you can do performance in one stage of your life, right, but it doesn't necessarily transfer to the other stage, like you might be really good at your work, but you suck in your relationships, you're great at your job, vice versa, whatever. The best of the best are great all of it. And I think when you put together the fitness, the nutrition, the supplementation, the accountability, the support, that's where really what happens. So that's what I think about when I think about that question. You're wanting to get peak performance and you want to get peak performance constantly throughout life. It's not just a one-time event, it's consistent greatness and consistent excellence for a long time. And that's the foundations you're going to find in this program.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That's awesome that it's built in that foundation. Um, I was already jumping ahead, man. I apologize
Oh,
because I know we got to talk about blood work, dude,
dude,
because
let's
this
do
is
it.
such a game changer in our community.
Yeah.
First of all, we are the first pornography and sex addiction recovery service out there that actually looks at your blood work. And
Yeah.
to be frank with you guys, it is a requirement to get your blood work done at some point while you're being onboarded into one of our programs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you are a data nerd. I'm a data nerd as well, and you're very passionate about data-driven healthcare and wellness.
Yeah.
Why is blood work such a game changer when it comes to transformation these days?
Yeah, I'll bring two things in here so we can skip around too. But like blood work
Okay.
is the assessment on you right now, right? And
Okay.
those, let's just talk about hormones, for example. And with the reboot, lots of men, right? We talk about testosterone, pre-testosterone. Well, if you've been in this game as long as I have, as long as you have been, right, JK, it's not
Yeah.
just those hormones. There's a synchronicity, there's a harmony between everything. And when we want to have peak performance, you want to look at that. So, for example, I tell people, look, we got your testosterone, we got your free T. I've seen guys as low as 270, and they're thinking they're in the normal ranges is what the normal medical practices are. That's not what we think. We want to think optimal in there, especially for like a certain age group, for a certain
Yeah.
population. Um, but there's other components of that. What I love about our kits is we actually bring in different formatting of looking at the numbers. We can look at ratios, and those ratios are great because now they actually give us a bigger story than just one lab. One lab doesn't give us everything. How your testosterone works with your cortisol, for example. Guys that are dealing with
Yep.
the behavior, or guys that are peak performers do run on high cortisol, quote unquote. But where is that truly? Is it high, low when they wake up? Is it high, low when they're in their day? Is it diurnal? Is it flip? I can talk about this all day, but those are just some
Yeah.
examples when you think about that approach. And when you're looking what's underneath the hood, right, JK, you can go, oh, let's pinpoint exactly how exercise and nutrition are going to work with that. Then we can go deeper into supplementation because we could take you out of a deficit into normal, normal into peak, and we could really tailor exactly what we're doing with supplementation and the nutraceutical interventions that we need to do, how your exercise is informed, how your nutrition is informed. Oh, and again, recovery, lifestyle, we talk about that as well. I know you were talking about like regulating your nervous system, regulating how you feel. There's so much there that lab work can show us, and then vice versa with how you feel day to day.
So good, guys. When you're struggling with whatever it is, whether it's losing body fat, getting enough rest, you feel that you're not energetic enough to go to the gym, you're crashing in the middle of the day. A lot of times you need something to translate it for you. Think of the time, gentlemen, those of you watching it, that you spend going on Reddit to figure out why your energy levels are low, and then going on forums and then watching YouTube videos and shorts. All you need, that time could have been spent looking at your blood work with a professional, and they will tell you exactly what the issue is, and you don't need to watch another short. I'm no
Yeah.
expert in this, but I know my blood work inside out, and that's because I look at my blood work first before I go watch or Google or listen to Dr. Google on anything, right?
Oh
So I
yeah.
love the fact that we have that. Speaking of which, what are some of the key biomarkers that you
Yeah.
actually look at
Yeah.
during this challenge? Yeah.
I mean, we just talked about a few. I have them here, like testosterone and free T, but the ratios between them, cortisol and our stress micros. Like, for example, one of the big things that guys probably deal with, like chronic issues, in like lack of recovery, is probably like inflammatory markers, or even like blood sugar and insulin dysregulation, right? If you're doing too
Mm,
much dopamine type of activities, even like binge eating will mess all this up. And that's the same pathways in your brain. So those are the same concepts there. We look at those, homocysteine, which is like a chronic inflammatory, HSCRP, which is like an acute inflammatory. We could look at your vitamin D levels. That's actually super important for a lot of metabolic processes, your mitochondria.
okay.
I mean, there's so much that we look at. I can't like I'm gonna give you like a biochemistry textbook, but we all
Yeah.
got together, and I actually look at that. And the cool thing about it is they all have a synergy with each other. Not, for example, testosterone and you just talked about like just spending hours on the phone and looking at Reddit, like those things with dopamine jacking and all that, like it all works together because they're all built on the same blocks. And from there, if you're taking too much from Paul, robbing from Paul, you can't give to Peter. So you have to manage those components. And that's what we do with our kit. We're managing that. That way it informs again the exercise, the nutrition, the recovery, the energy, so that they can get the best results in a time frame. We're keeping all those markers at relatively well or optimal. I don't like to see guys in the low end. It's not fun, especially if you
Yeah,
know how it feels to be low T or low energy or high cortisol, high inflammation.
I do.
It's the
It
worst.
sucks. Speaking of not having things, I wouldn't use the word balance, but not having things optimal um, in your whether it's your hormonal profile or otherwise. Sometimes, in order to, a lot of the men watching this are high performers, and let's say you get your blood work back and you're deficient in something, or you want to accomplish a goal and you're impatient. You're like, I need to get there. There are things you're going to be deficient in, right?
Yeah,
And I know that, like, I take Prestige Labs.
yeah,
Here's the reason why I take Prestige Labs. Apart from the fact that it's awesome supplementation, I don't like to change my stuff around. I don't know
yeah,
about you guys. I have a tendency to just get too many supplements and things just get too
yeah,
complex. And I'm just like, I need to take things that I know work for me.
dude.
So we use Prestige Labs. We use the stack. I use the stack. What is it about it? Tell us a little bit about it and how it helps guys to kind of optimize
Yeah,
their
yeah.
recovery, their performance.
Well, first off, before we even talk about Prestige Labs, I love what you said about guys just buying all these things that are marketed towards them, right? And then they have all this supplement stack. They got the drawers at home, and it's like, do you even know what this does for you? Do you even understand the synergy of all this? Oh, some of these things are screwing you over, or you're overdoing it on something, and next thing you know, your PSA is all messed up or something like that. One of the things I really love about Prestige Labs, I've been working with them for 7 years, even before I met JK guys. So the reason I love them is because
This
when
is
I was
true.
up
Yeah.
in gyms, they really came into a time where gyms like didn't have an answer to how to support their people, that are high performers, training all the time, fat loss challenges, whatever, and lack of this, all these things. What I love about Prestige Labs is they are CGMP certified. So for the back end, it's got everything that it needs. It's third party tested. It's in FDA regulated facilities, so that even Whole Foods uses the same facilities of sourcing. So that means, okay, we can trust these guys. We know they're the best of the best. But what I love about them is they have an answer for everything when it comes to labs. So guys that are usually high performers, right, JK? Usually high performers need a lot more of the recovery and they need a lot more of the building blocks of these things. And here's the thing, I don't think people have this concept around supplementation that, hey, people, oh, it's the thing that rounds you up, it's the last 5%. Actually, I don't think so. With Prestige Labs, it's actually bringing guys like high performers. They're going to be deficient in stuff because they're pulling all that stuff all the time. They're training hard, they're under stress from work, from life, and it's actually bringing them back to normal, to optimal. And there's just so much synergy there that it keeps the biomarkers, when I see them, their testosterone is better, the vitamin D, everything. when I retest it with these guys, everything is just in such an optimal place because I know that they're pulling so much from their training from life that the nutrition is not going to cover that. It will never cover that. The way we are in our day to day in America right now, or even just in the world, the way with food being processed, this stuff actually not only just gives you the rounded off supplementation, it actually builds some foundational things too.
What you said about the recovery piece again is again, it's a big reminder that so many of us are focused on performance and pushing ourselves that
Yeah.
we don't realize that we are missing recovery. We don't realize that our body does need to be in a state of recovery.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite supplements with Prestige have been the sleep supplements.
Yeah.
Um, that shit just, I used to think it was a little bit of a placebo, honestly, because
Yeah.
I would sleep so deeply, and I was just like, man, this is better just than the regular melatonin supplement, which kind of like gives me a little bit of a hangover the next day.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
recovery stuff is good. Their testosterone stuff is just, their sexual health stuff is amazing.
There's
Um,
stuff like their men's multi. It has like a prostate like health specific thing in there as well. It's very great. It's like prostate specific and prostate protective. I mean, everything that they stack together. I love the sleep one, but even before that, you can stack it with like the craving or the crushing, craving crush suppressant, which is actually a really great tool for like managing your stress with like ashwagandha, for example,
yeah.
rhodiola rosacea. So like there's
Bro,
a
oh
synergy with
my
there.
God. Yeah.
And the
Dude,
sleep
I
too.
totally forgot, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
here's
forgot
the
that
thing.
the
Here,
cravings crusher in the morning and the fat burner. I forgot it.
well, let
Guys,
me tell
uh,
you, it's
yeah, go ahead.
because what we've seen, not just theory, but like from the guys. Obviously, they're dealing with the reboot exercise and nutrition in my area, right? But
Yeah,
we've seen with the craving suppressant work on those dopamine in the same centers that like binge eating is, as it is with like dopamine jacking with behaviors and compulsive behaviors, addiction, whatever. That guys were reporting to me, they're like, I'm way more chill, way more calm, not trying to like respond aggressively or lash out or whatever. So that's been a really great game changer to help bolt in that behavior change. And then from there, you add in like the best night of sleep. The cool thing about that, I could talk about this all day, but it's when you have melatonin, like there's super bombs, like melatonin from Target or Sprouts or wherever, they're like 10 milligrams. That kills your pineal gland. That's not what we do here. What we do is we just dose a little to get you to sleep. And then from there, it's like valerian root, kava kava. Those actually bring your sleep quality up. It really augments it to be as deep as possible. So you're really getting the brain changes that you need. The glymphatic system, the brain really shrinks to bring out all like the amyloid plaques, all that stuff. So when people talking about rewiring your brain for this challenge and foundational peak performance, and also in your program, it's all synergistic. Like the science is insane.
so dude, so awesome. So for those of you listening, if you're struggling with a compulsive behavior of any sort, whether it is with food, sex, pornography, whatever the case may be, going through a challenge like this is not just about transforming your body. A lot of you do need to get in touch with your body. A lot of you need an incentive to rest better, to listen to your body, and to see how it actually responds to certain supplements. I've always said that to end your compulsive behavior, deep awareness is required. And awareness of your body's functions and learning how to listen to it is one of the best things you can do. So a challenge like this puts you into this like it puts you in a cycle. For how long are we doing the challenge for, Seamus?
90 days, 1 week right before I get married, guys. You got to lock in.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So for that moment in time, I encourage you to view this as an opportunity to just take care of your body and your mind and
Yeah.
get in tune with it. Get deeply aware of what is my body, when does my body need to recover, how does it respond to certain things, and how is it that changing my physical behavior can reduce my compulsions and my cravings. This is so good. What
Yeah.
are some of the mistakes, the big like nutritional mistakes you see, and also recovery mistakes that you often see guys making? When they really want great results, they're going to the gym, they're crushing it, but you sit down with them and you're just like, you're making these two mistakes in recovery, and dude, like your diet, your supplementation is really holding you back.
Yeah. Let me just say, bringing it back to the analogy of like the person spinning their wheels, just getting nowhere
Yeah,
fast. They think they need to train harder and longer, so they add more time in the gym, they add more of these things, so they never get into recovery. They're constantly in a state of stress, right? And then two, nutrition is another stressor when we use like a caloric deficit. These are the laws of thermodynamics, you know this, but it's like they overdo it on that. So like the one mistake is they overdo the training and then they overdo the nutrition and they don't really understand that there's a harmony between the two of them where you can eat really voluminous, great amounts of food, feel satiated, feel nourished, like you're talking about, right? That awareness, feeling that nourishment, and actually not killing yourself in the gym so that you can get to your work day and not be cranky or, not be yelling at your wife and kids. Be actually energized from that. I think the belief has to be shifted because even though it is in 90 days, it is a bit of a sprint, it is a challenge. You are going to push. But when we have that synergy and that harmony together, you come out of it such a better person. And I think those are some of the mistakes that people get.
Okay, dude, this is all. I am so excited, guys. I just want to um. Well, you want to answer the question of the nutrition and recovery?
Yeah, specifically just the nutrition oh the
Yeah, just the things holding guys back.
yeah, I think also too when the nutrition too, and I think just with the recovery, like when you add on that exercise, they overdo it with the nutrition and in the recovery, they just there's a whole cycle there where they can't access recovery. They're not understanding how to move through their day to day with like I don't know, simple little tools and tips of just being able to understand some beliefs around stress, right? But
Mm,
also at the same time utilizing that stress. So, for example, one of the big things I teach our brothers is like, you have this workday in front of you. You're gonna do this thing. You've trained, you've eaten, but you're still under load and stress. How do we move through the day so we can talk about like mindset practices, breath work, things like this to bring your vagal tone up, so that even though you're dealing with a high stress situation, you're actually in a recovered state, and that's what I call being in grace. Have you ever seen like a basketball game like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, like those guys under the bright lights, under the stress, they move. They've been doing this like a million times, and it's just like the most graceful looking thing.
yeah.
They make the hard shit look like that was beautiful. And that's what I like to teach the guys is like we're gonna create this harmony around like your stress, your beliefs around it, and then you can always access recovery at any time.
Dude, I love that concept of the ability to learn how to access recovery at any time during the day. Because so many men are concerned about time for recovery. They're like, oh, I need a recovery day. I'm pushing through. No, you don't need to wait till fucking Saturday or a specific day to recover if you have the skill set of doing it, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm actually like super excited. So I'm just gonna say this to those of you who are watching, okay? Um, this challenge is exclusive. We are actually opening it up to the general public soon, but there are only a certain number of men that we can work with. So for right now, it is exclusively open to brothers who are clients in our program right now. So if you are in our ecosystem and you're seeing this video, you want to take action. And for those guys who have been hemming and hawing about Optimum U, I know you guys are like, oh, it's elevated recovery. We have this. Listen, guys, this is a bona fide system on its own. Seamus is more qualified. He's probably in the top 10% of qualification of all these people out there who talk about fitness. He's not a guru. He's not some guy who just stood up on stage, posed a few times, and then decided that he was going to launch his supplements or grift people or pretend to be a coach. He's an actual board certified professional. Okay. I mean, come on. That's not a green screen behind him. Okay. Just so you guys know.
Peak
That is
performance.
not a green screen.
Look,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, no,
actually
that is, yeah,
okay.
that is his office where he works with real life high performers. Okay. So, just to round this up, right? What, for the men who are ready, what are the next steps that they need to take to lock it in?
Honestly, just message us, get on a call, let's get you in, and just jump in. You'll get one-on-one time with me, and we'll basically able to tailor everything so that you could get to this challenge. And we do have prizes and winnings, right? And we can make it better for you. And so that you get that jump start now. Don't wait until my calendar is filled up. Seriously, guys, I'm busy. I was in New York for 5 days. I'm getting ready for my fiance to be my spouse, and I'm doing all this other stuff. Like my calendar is getting filled up all the time. We decided to open up this challenge. My calendar is going to open up, but it's going to close real fast. So if you decide to, when you decide to do it, just jump on as soon as possible.
So good. So, guys, just so you all know, in addition to Seamus doing what he has to do for work and giving you guys customized one-on-one attention, he has to prepare for his wedding. Okay. So I'm very, very thankful. Really, thank you, man, for like leading the initiative for this. You could have done it for your business. You could have done it for the other folks you work with and consult with. You chose to spend this time with us. So really, I am appreciative. Gentlemen, please respect the man's time. If this is something you want to do not get on the calendar if you're not sure. Don't get on the calendar and you're say, hey, Seamus, I really want to find out if this is a good fit. We can answer all the questions that you need answered. I'm going to drop a link here, whether you see the link below, on the top, or on this video. Click on it, schedule a call. We'll work you through it. Just so you know, our prices are very affordable. We're not going to like charge some ridiculous price for transformation. We want to make it affordable for you guys. I appreciate you guys listening. I'm super excited. I'm going to be in there too, working out with you guys. Our entire team is going to be there. So you're going to see everybody. Seamus, any final words?
You look, guys, I'm on the line here. I gotta look good for my wedding day, so you know I'm in. But here's the difference. You can Google all this stuff, right, JK? They can figure this all out. You can spend hours figuring this all out. Or you just take action now and you jump on a call, boom, boom, you're locked in because you made that commitment to yourself. When you've made that commitment for yourself, whatever it is you believe in, you have now opened up the space for you to fill that void, for you to step into this better version of you within this 90-day framework. This is just a start. It's going to create some sustainability. And once you're in my ecosystem, here's one thing I'll promise you, JK knows this. Once you're in my ecosystem and you latch onto me, there is nothing but up. I can't say that enough because people have commented on certain things and JK knows this, but I'm on you. Yeah. I'm on you. And once I'm on you, I got talons in you and we just go.
I think this is a perfect time for you guys to jump in. There's so many awesome and exciting things happening in Seamus's world and in my world. I think sometimes people just think, I'm just kind of doing this for myself. No, 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 no. What you are doing is you are borrowing the energy of other people as well. You're already a high performer. You have your energy, but every time you show up, you're like, oh my God, these guys, I don't know where they're going. I don't know where they're headed, but everything here is positive. Everyone's thinking big. The standard is so high. I have no choice but to rise to that challenge. And we know you can do that. So click on the link. We'll see you on the other side. And thank you so much for taking the time to check this out here. Thank you so much, Seamus, as well, for your time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.